Everybody got their hand out now expecting a tip. It ain't about service. Now we're just crowdfunding. Also, I lost my keys twice already this week. I cannot be in charge of organs. It's beyond my capabilities. Do me a favor, hit like, share, subscribe, comment. Some of those, I'd really appreciate it. Also, it's about time to close some of those nuclear waste sites that we're calling convenience stores spread all across the USA. Let's get that done too. Thank you again for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I was at lunch today and they turned the screen around and I tapped no tip. And immediately I felt like I just punched a puppy in public. It was an awful feeling. Tipping is starting to feel like a subscription service. And here's the problem. I don't even know what I'm subscribed to anymore. I just tap my card or I hear beep, and then I realize I emotionally owe somebody. Somebody deserves a tip, and I'm sure I'm forgetting it. Now, I did see this article today, and it talked about whether we should be tipping flight attendants or not. Now, we're supposed to tip at 30,000 feet. What we gonna do next? Man, pilot, I'm gonna tell you what, dog. You greased that landing. Tell you what, here's an extra 20. Man, you the bomb. You the best pilot I know. Next time, keep it under 600 miles an hour. Have a good day. What? I'm not planning on tipping a pilot either. I'm not tipping the attendant. I'm not tipping none of them. They're making a lot of money. What are you doing? And even the flight attendants are like, that's complicated. So let me tell you what. We're at a point where even the people involved don't know if they should be tipped. That means the answer's no in my world. Some airlines don't allow tipping at all. Some do, and some flight attendants will put the money in their pocket like they're at Vegas. Now, the other thing they'll tell you, though, if they take the money, usually they're going to say something like, this does not afford you any drinks or upgrades. There's nothing free coming. Okay, then why am I tipping? I'm kidding, but we've expanded tipping so far that we don't even know who we're supposed to be grateful for anymore. Think about it. Every time you go somewhere, a screen pops up. Somebody flips it over, and they're judging your character. They don't start at 10, 15, and 20% like they used to. No, when they flip it over, it starts at 20%, then they offer 25 and 30%. And I'm like, for what? You turned the iPad around. I was at a chicken restaurant just yesterday, and I walked in and I had to order. I had to do all the stuff on the screen, delete this, plus that, like I'm ordering on an app at home or in my car. Then I waited, and there were boxes just like I worked for Uber Eats, and there were numbers. And what they would do is hit the ding. And when I heard the ding, I then went and got my stuff out of the box. When I got done, they flipped the thing over and asked me if I wanted to leave a tip. I couldn't even look at them with a straight face. Then a lady walked out at tip time and she smiles. Like she knew what time it was because she sees it on the one behind the screen, I guess, back there. It's shady at best. Now, I'm going to tell you, that chicken sandwich is probably the best chicken sandwich I've ever had in my natural life. Then one of the people around here was talking to me about how they tip their garbage man. Tipping your garbage man? For what? Garbage men are doing just fine. My dad was telling me in the 60s, he was in San Francisco talking to a guy that drove a garbage truck. It was a buddy of his friend. They were in the Navy. He said, how much do you make driving a truck? He said $67,000 a year. That was a lot of money then. They're making over $100,000. What are we tipping them for? They have benefits, union, retirement. They have things I don't. This man is not outside my house street performing, asking for $5 bills, hoping I brought cash. If anything, what we should be doing is asking him for advice. Hey, bro, you figured some things out. Clearly, you're doing better than me. Talk to me about what I could do better. My girl says to me the other day, hey, I got to go get my hair cut. I thought, hallelujah. There goes $200 more. You know how they do? Go in there. I don't know what the women do in there. My girl's like, it's $200 when I walk in. Clearly some stuff I'm missing. Then they want a tip, which is another $40 to $50. Then they want an end of the year tip. For what? A loyalty program? That's not a haircut anymore, sister. That's a mortgage with highlights. You pick up your own food, they hand it to you, and the screen's like, would you like to leave 25%? For what? Encouragement? And now the debate is tipping flight attendants. I believe they just want us not to act stupid. Just act some type of normal. That'd be good. We don't want your money. We don't want your snacks. We don't want that weird dessert that you made at home and brought for us. Nobody's eating that. That's going right in the trash. Don't kid yourself. Nobody knows if your kitchen's clean. Come on now. Just sit down. Don't fight nobody. Don't rub your dirty feet on nobody. And maybe, just maybe, we can all get home today and have a wonderful afternoon. Also, do me a favor. Don't try to open the doors during the flight. It makes everyone mad. That's sort of a 5-star review for them. I always say in the airline industry, and I teach students this too, if anyone remembers the flight, it's probably a bad flight. They should never remember the flight. But I'm working with a lot of young pilots. No one should remember you. You may not see these people next week. You may never see them again. So it's okay. Let's all go home and forget the flight happened. It's a wonderful flight. If nobody's complaining, it must have been a good one, right? We still got a job. Everybody's happy. Back to this tipping thing, we didn't really expand generosity. What we did is we expanded confusion, right? That's all. Tipping used to mean thank you. I really appreciate what you did. I remember it was a big deal as a kid to put that 10 or 15 cents, because that's what it was back then, on the table. Sometimes I remember when it was just change, and then it moved to the dollar bill, and then it moved to $3 and $4. And my mother's like, no, they're never getting more than $5. I'm like, Mom, we just spent $300. So she's not, and she's not wrong. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you she's wrong. She's 100% right. Because again, tipping used to mean, woo, thank you for the hard work and the extra effort. Now, all it means to the person on the other side of the screen is, I survived another transaction. Yay me. All I'm really saying is, when I check out somewhere, it shouldn't feel like a moral test. I think we're going a little too far. It's kind of like any of these lunch restaurants that I go to, I get this question every time. Would you like to round up so that you could save the blonde-haired billy goats in the Sudan? It's only 40 cents, sir. And then you're like, I feel pressured now because everybody's looking at me in the back. And then you say yes, and they start ringing bells. Woo, we saved 4 more in the Sudan. I mean, it seems like a lot. Speaking of things that are a lot, I don't know if you saw this, but the folks over at 7-Eleven said, hey, I got some news. We are still open, 7-Eleven. However, we're closing 600 of these stores. And to that, I say, good. It's about time. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a public safety way. Some of these buildings should be condemned. Don't renovate, erase, get rid of them. I'm not saying we get rid of Buc-ee's. I'm not saying we get rid of Quick Trip. Quick Trip's one of the best companies in America. There's Maverick stores. They all have a few of the pride stores, if you will. It's the ones in the smaller cities that are attached to those L-shaped adjacency shopping centers that didn't work, where there's only one insurance company dude left and he's trying to get out. There's a bar in the corner that's burnt down 3 times. And there's this guy at the end that runs the Magic Market. Yeah, those. You got to shut them down, man. I mean, the buildings look tired. When you pull up, the buildings are like, I mean, they're done. It's over. You walk into the places, the door goes open, shoo, ding, ding, you hear the bell, your mind translates, looks around and says, we shouldn't touch nothing in here. You know that immediately. Lights are flickering, the floor is sticky, almost like you're an extra in a Saw movie. Yeah, everything in here is like, warning, warning, warning. Everything's creaking, and you realize it's not really a store, it's a decision now that you've got to live with for the rest of your life. And then you go, you know what? I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom. Even your innards are going, we can wait. We good. We don't have to go right now. We're good. We don't gotta go. We're good. Go to the restroom. It's more like a historical site. Hadn't been cleaned since 1997. And there's a plaque to tell you when it was clean. That's what I'm talking about. Respect, though, for 1997's cleansing. The regrets building as you walk further and further in. Sink don't work. Soap is really just sort of emotional support. And the paper towel dispenser, well, that's decorative. As you look into the mirror, you realize, I shouldn't be here. You just forego washing your hands. We can forget that. That's not happening. And you pray your way out. Then you walk back out into the convenience store, and now you're in a crowd of people trying to act like nothing happened. You walk over to that roller that's got them hot dogs there, just spinning. And you know it's been spinning them hot dogs since the Reagan administration. It's really like a museum exhibit in there. You really think about it, the dirt that's in that bathroom's really history. At this point, I'm not sure we should clean it. So when they say they're closing those stores on account of performance, that's a lie. What's happening is the customers are scared. One went in the bathroom and now nobody will go back to the convenience store. You went in for Gatorade and now you're questioning your whole immune system. That's not the way it should be. Some of these buildings, like I said, do not need a remodel. They need a bulldozer, a priest, and a full reset. We bring in new dirt out of respect for the community. Now, to be fair, there's always one of those on your way home, isn't there? They're nasty, you know it's questionable, but it is right there, and that's convenience. Convenience is, I know this is probably going to hurt me later, but I am in a hurry. That's what they were designed for, a gamble with snacks. And I tell you the take-home message, what I've learned about convenience stores. If the bathroom's got a smell you can hear, bulldoze it. It's over. Now, I don't know about you, but I forget what I'm looking for when I walk in the room sometimes. Can you imagine me being a doctor in the middle of surgery? I'm like, hold on. That's why I ain't a doctor, because I forget stuff. I lose my keys, my wallet, my train of thought. I can't be in charge of organs. I know my limitations. Saw this story, and it said that this doctor was being indicted because he removed the wrong organ. Not like slightly the wrong organ, like completely the wrong organ. It's not a typo, it's a remix. So you've changed things now. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but I do feel like that you should know what you're about to take out before you take it out. I feel like that's step one in the hospital in business. Imagine waking up from surgery, they're like, good news, we handled the issue. Also, we took a little something extra. You're all like, extra? Was this a combo meal? Talk about your rough day at the office. You ever mess up something at work and then you're all like, I could hide this. I could just walk away. No one's going to know the copy machine was not like this when I walked up to it. This is not one of those things. You cannot come out of that room and be like, hey guys, small mix up, we pivoted. That's why I said, I ain't no doctor. I'd be in there second guessing everything. I'd be like, hold on, is this yours? Did you come in here with this? Did he come in here with this? I'd be asking folks. Then I'd have Post-it notes stuck on all the organs. Red means don't touch. Yellow means at least ask somebody. And green's like, we feel confident, I think. If I mess up my job, worst case, I do a wrong joke. I make an edit. I tell a bad joke. I get canceled. But nobody loses a liver. See the difference? And then I went on and saw a little bit about the other incidents. And anytime there's other incidents, it's a pattern. But in this case, it becomes more like a playlist. And at some point, you got to pull the dude aside and you got to be like, hey, bro, what do you see in there? Like, tell me what you're seeing and we can figure out what's going on. Because I get having an off day every now and again, but bro, there are levels of off days. There's I forgot my lunch, and then there's I forgot basic anatomy. Those are different kinds of off days. You get it? Not even in the same category. That's why I stay in my lane. I joke, talk, mess up a few sentences, make an edit here and there, and I hope that I never end up somewhere where an oops puts me in a courtroom. I hope. And I ain't trying to overreact. But if I'm on the table and there's a pause and a doctor says, hold on, then I want a second opinion immediately. Time out. Hey, thanks for spending time with me today. My name is Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck. I'm at Bud Ford Comedy. Have a great day.